Alright, sweeties, how are you doing? Welcome to Nanyacim. If this is your first time of coming across this channel, sweetheart, kindly smash the subscribe button, turn on the notification so you get notified each time I upload, and please give this video a thumb up. I appreciate you all, and I want to say a very big thank you to every one of you for always coming back to watch my videos, subscribing. You all are the real MVP. So today we'll be talking something that caught my attention on TikTok, and it says that white people, black people should expect racism because white people are not going to stop being racist to black people. And this actually got a lot of people talking about it, stitching to read, and actually the woman put the video on private, but I was able to get something that will make you understand where this is coming from, and then how it ended. Stay glued to the screen, do not go anywhere. Let me roll the clip.
Here we go again. Have a look at this, and I'll be right back.
I don't know why everybody's coming after me. I never said racism doesn't exist. Never said it. Never said it. But just because I'm white or we're white doesn't mean that we are. So you've got a few bad apples in the bunch that ruin it for everybody. And I know people on both sides of that color line have experienced that. But it only seems to want to apply when it's on the other side. I have never treated anybody that way. I have black friends who I respect and love very deeply. I'm not saying you won't have to work harder, and I'm not saying that it doesn't still exist, and I'm not saying that there aren't still some unreasonable hurdles that you're going to have to jump over. What I'm saying is show them, prove them wrong. Prove them wrong. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to be on your side, and y'all are coming after me. I can't win. I cannot win. I'm not a racist. Okay? I don't know what else to do.
Now, I could spend a whole lot of time trying to go point by point and letting you know the parts of that video that I feel are problematic, especially coming from an ally. But I'm not going to do that because so many other creators already have. And I'm talking about black, white, male, female, you name it. But what I'd like to do is show you another clip. And I want you just to understand, this is why black people and other people of color sometimes even have issues with individuals who claim to be allies. It's like, who do I trust? Who do I not trust? It's an age-old question and fear that black people have because of things like this. So just watch this.
I think it goes without saying that it's obvious that having black friends don't make you black. Clearly. However, I do have black friends who are extremely intelligent and wonderful people and whom I love very much. And I'm not sure what trend you're talking about. Is being black trendy now? Is that what this is? Because it might be considered a little racist. Let us have something. Well, you've got affirmative action. You've got all black colleges, all black scholarships. You've got the BET channel. You've got the BET awards. And you've got an entire month dedicated to celebrating your history and culture. I'm not real sure what else it is that you're looking for, because that sounds to me like quite a few somethings.
So, I'm not really, for those of you who have formed one opinion in the beginning, what is it now? And if you still try to defend it, even after hearing the second video, then, that says everything that we need to know. Share your thoughts. It's already trending online. Let me know what you think, guys.
So that is actually the video that got everyone talking. And you know what? Let's get into the stitches and see what people are saying about this. So here we go.
People should just expect racism because white people are going to stop being that way. There's plenty of people that are still going to be that way. But just because I'm white or we're white doesn't mean that we are.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. That's literally what that means. Look, my fellow rice cakes, I'm going to say something out loud that you would probably prefer I kept to myself, but we are terrible at self-examination because we are obsessed with being perceived as good. We are good people with good intentions who do good things, and we know that racism is bad, so we're offended by the mere insinuation that we could be capable of dehumanizing anybody. And that line of thinking right there is why we continue to take L's left and right, because you can't confront a problem if you don't acknowledge the problem exists. Listen, you are not evil and bad because you were born white, and no reasonable person is saying that you are. What we're saying is that it is a problem if you don't acknowledge what it means to have been born white in a racist society. It is a problem if you're not willing to examine the privileges, I know we all hate that word, but the privileges, the benefits, and the means of insulation we inherit by virtue of being born white. And it's not that we can't experience other disadvantages, including some that we may share with Black, Indigenous, and other people of color. We can be discriminated against on the basis of our sexuality, our gender, our physical abilities, our economic status. There are plenty of reasons why a given white person might grow up in a shitty situation. But the color of our skin has never, ever, ever, ever been one of those problems. And if you can't say that out loud, then you're being racist. White folks, we have to disabuse ourselves of this notion that to be racist is to walk around throwing out the N-word left and right. That's not what that means. Racism sleeps. Racism waits. Racism is little things that you don't even know that you're doing until somebody tells you about it after the fact. If you could always see racism from space, then we, and by we I mean white people and only white people, wouldn't have been so shocked over the last few years to discover that so many of our loved ones are big old racist bags of shit. Because one, racism is subtle, it sneaks up on you, it manifests in tiny ways, and two, we never had to interrogate those behaviors because we were insulated by racism. Listen, bigotries of all kinds often manifest unconsciously, by accident, and the only way we can catch it, the only way we can be vigilant, is to rely on other people to let us know and then to build our experience around that knowledge. If you can just get comfortable with the fact that prejudice is an inherent part of the human experience, then getting feedback about it will involve a lot fewer tears and heartbreak. In conclusion, my fellow Snowmericans, to be good is to accept your limitations and be okay with being wrong.
And I'm not saying you won't have to work harder, and I'm not saying that it doesn't still exist, and I'm not saying that there aren't still some unreasonable hurdles that you're going to have to jump over. What I'm saying is show them, prove them wrong.
Wait. So in a video where you are trying to prove that you are not a racist, you literally explain how Black people have more hurdles to go through to get the basic respect that we as white people get automatically. And you show a comfort with it by telling them to just show up, prove them wrong, get over it, because that's what that statement said. Get over it. And you don't think that that's racist? Why aren't we telling white people to show up and to get over it? The Crown Act literally was not passed in the Senate because of the people you voted for, ma'am, the Republican Party. And you could care less. That act was so that Black people could wear their natural hair at their jobs, at school, at sporting events. And they don't get that protection because of the people you voted in. And now you're telling Black people to just get over that? God! And you wonder why people are calling you a racist. Your comfort in knowing that Black people have extra hurdles to go through is the reason why you are being called a racist. And just a hint, a clue for white people. The second you bring your Black friends into an argument is when you lose the argument and prove that you are a racist. Your friends should not be tokenized. That you think of your friends as ways to explain how you are not racist is racist. Theodore Roosevelt was a president who had the first Black man sit at his dinner table, Booker T. Washington. And he was a racist. If you've ever watched Django Unchained, Leonardo DiCaprio's character has Black friends. He was a racist in that movie. So that you think your Black friends exclude you from being a racist proves that you are using them to get out of thinking you're a racist. It's really sad. But thank you for explaining that a lot of people know that Black people have extra hurdles to go through and that they're comfortable with it. and just let their friends, get over it. Show up. Prove them wrong. I really wish white people would start showing up and proving everybody else wrong that we are not racist. But that won't happen anytime soon, will it? Do better, baby.
And it doesn't mean that most of us are. So you've got a few bad apples in the bunch.
This video is a perfect example of why the moralization of actions is actually really harmful for anti-racism work. A lot of white people struggle with this idea when they first get started in their anti-racism journey is because we live in a society that moralizes our actions or our deeds. So you have good deeds that you do that make you a good person, and you do bad deeds and that makes you a bad person. But that's not really how the world works. And we use phrases like impact over intention, but that doesn't mean that we completely throw out the intention behind things. We have to start separating this idea that who we are is intrinsically tied to the small actions that we perform every day. We live in a racist society, so people are going to do racist things that they may not mean to, but we can't ever see those things, or we can't address them if you refuse to believe that you could do it because you're a good person.
We're white doesn't mean that we are.
Yes, it does.
I know at this point y'all tired of seeing my face, but I got something to say. Now, I really don't care who gets offended by this, because what I'm getting ready to say, I feel like it's a pretty fair judgment. So if you are offended, it's because you fit the description, and that's a personal problem. I need every white person to listen to what I'm saying, even if you are allied to the black community, because you truly can't be one until you accept this one thing right here. Just like I have, you have grown up in an anti-black world. You have been conditioned to see black people a certain way. You have been conditioned to see our history, our culture a certain way. You have been taught to see white or anything that is in proximity to whiteness as supreme, right? Through TV, through music, through different types of conditioning, through the way that we were taught about history in school, right? We were all taught these things. And just so you don't feel bad like I'm picking on you, I, as a black person, in my young adult years, have had to deconstruct my anti-blackness from the things that I was conditioned to think. So if I, as a black person who has grown up in this nation, has to deconstruct my anti-blackness, I guarantee you there is more than a 99.9% chance that you had to deconstruct your internalized racism. Now, you may not be around here calling black people the N-word, or it may not be overt racism. You may not feel like you hate black people, but I guarantee you the way you have been conditioned affects the way you perceive blackness and whiteness. You can be the most loving person you are. You can say you don't see color all you want. Unless you do the work, that racism is still there. On the other hand, just like I can say this as a man, I have grown up in a misogynistic world. So guess what? There's some misogyny that I have to deconstruct, and I have to do the work in order to pull myself out of the conditioning that was laid down for me in my young age and adolescence. I think it's very arrogant for anybody, but in this case, for any white person to feel they have no racism to deconstruct, there's no work they need to do. I'm sorry. That's just not how that works. There is absolutely work that needs to be done, and unless you do that work, whether you are carrying out the prejudice or you are just watching it happen, or you're not doing the work to deconstruct it, you are a part of the problem. Selah, keep it authentic.
All right, this is actually all we got from the stitches, and definitely I want to read all your comments. I want to know what you all got to say about this. And yeah, it's more like they are trying to tell you to get over it, and you need to prove to them that you are not. I don't know what they want black people to prove, but it's all good. Let me know what you all think in the comment section. See you all in my next video, and bye for now.